Hey there, this is Red. It's time for another episode of Red Plays, and we've got Marvel Champions on the board, and I had so much fun with Spider-Man and Rhino. I think I want to go for that again. So I think we're gonna do a couple more playthroughs of Spider-Man and Rhino because I'm enjoying that set, and it's been a long time since I've played Spider-Man. So we just got the pre-constructed Spider-Man deck that comes right out of the core box. And we've got the pre-constructed Rhino deck, which is your standard one, which is Rhino 1, 2. You got your standard encounters and then the bomb scare encounter set in there. So kind of what you would get right out of the box. And I'm having a lot of fun playing that, so I think we're going to go back to that. So all right, so I've got Spider-Man on the board. I've got Rhino on the board. Rhino's got his 14 starting hit points, which we see right there. The break-in comes out. There's nothing fancy about the break-in coming out. It just comes out and we're good to go. We need 10 hit points on Peter Parker, and Peter Parker has a hand size of 6. So let's get those 6 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's see what we've got here. We have some strength, power of justice, helicarrier, web shooters. Ooh, all sorts of fun things in the first hand here. So we've got things where we can set up for late game. We could get helicarrier out there. We could start churning a little bit with Black Cat. We've got a web shooter, or we've got a swinging web kick where we can just come out and do a bunch of damage. I think what we're going to do is we're going to work on getting Black Cat out there. So, all right, we're going to stick with what we've got in our hand here. So what we're looking at is probably, we'll end up getting a helicarrier. We'll probably do the web shooter. Well, let's just do it. I won't talk too much about it. Let's do by showing. All right, so we're going to start the game. Here's our 6 cards down here at the bottom. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to use Peter Parker's Scientist Resource, which says generate a mental resource once per round. We're going to do that to play our web shooter. All right, web shooter comes into play with 3 counters on it. Now the web shooter can be used as a hero resource. I can exhaust it, remove a web counter to generate a wild resource. So I have to be hero in order to use it. So I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do, is we're going to flip on over to Spider-Man. We will exhaust. I'm going to use these tokens for my, instead of tapping or exhausting, I'm going to use my tokens to represent exhausting. So I'm going to exhaust my web shooter, remove 1 to generate 1 wild. I'm going to get 2 more resources using my strength. And I'm going to play my helicarrier. So helicarrier says, exhaust helicarrier, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card this player plays by 1. All right, so the fun thing I could do is I could do my swinging web kick and do a bunch of damage. But I think we're going to get Black Cat out there, because she's kind of a fun character to play. So we're going to exhaust our helicarrier. We're going to make the next card I play cost 1 less. We're going to use our power of justice to go ahead and play Black Cat. And Black Cat's got a special ability that says, after you play Black Cat, discard the top 2 cards of your deck, add each card with a printed mental resource discarded this way to your hand. All right, so Black Cat's going to come into play. I'm going to discard the top 2 cards of my deck. We're going to look for mental resources, which neither of them have. So I'm losing Spider Tracer, and Mockingbird are going in my discard pile. That's all right. Okay, so next up we can do some fighting. So we're going to have Spider-Man go ahead, and he's going to attack for 2, take Rhino down to 12. And then we'll have Black Cat go ahead and attack for 1. And the great thing about Black Cat attacking for 1 is she doesn't have any consequential damage, so she's going to do 1 and not take any. So that's pretty cool. Loving that. And we can hold on to our swinging web kick, so next round we can do more damage. All right, so we're at the end of our turn. We're going to remove all of our exhaustion. So we're going to unexhaust. I guess I should say we're at the end of our phase, which is the player phase. We're going to draw our hand size back up to 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have to see how this goes. It's a tough call. These are both good cards. All right. Villain's turn. We're going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. Next up, Rhino's going to see Spidey out there. He's going to come to attack Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man's Spider Sense is going to go off, which says, when the villain initiates attack against you, draw cards. We're going to go ahead and draw a card. Ooh, and we got Nick Fury. Oh, nice. All right, now he's going to attack Spider-Man. We're just going to take this attack. We're not going to block or anything. So we're looking at Rhino. He's doing 2 damage. He's going to get a boost card, and our boost card says he does an additional no more damage. All right, so we're just going to take 2 damage. So I've taken 2. So the way that I reflect my hit points is I have my total hit points up there in the corner, and then I kind of count up the damage that I take. Normally, if you had the dial, you'd set the dial to your max, and you would knock it down as you took damage. But this way, I know I can keep track of what my max is, and when I reach my max, I'm out. Okay, so that was Rhino's attack. We're going to do our encounter card. Encounter card is Advance. Oh, he's going to scheme. All right. So Rhino's got 1 on his scheme. He's going to get a boost card. He's going to scheme for just 1. There's no boosts there. All right, we're going to go up to 2. That was kind of a best case scenario for when Advance came out. Luckily, that worked out well. All right, we're over to the hero turn. Now, we have all sorts of fun things we can do here. Now, getting him webbed up for 2 rounds sounds really good. The other thing that I can do is I can bring Nick Fury into play. I think we'll do that first. So we're going to exhaust our helicarrier to reduce the cost of the next card I play by 1. We're going to use 1 resource off of our web shooter. So now we only need 2. We're going to use our tenacity. We're going to use our tenacity and our emergency. We'll use our tenacity and our 4 justice to bring Nick Fury into play. So that's 2 from there. Reduced it by 1, added another 1, so that's our total of 4 that we need. So Nick Fury's got some things that he does or can do. After Nick Fury enters play, choose 1, remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage. Then at the end of the round, if Nick Fury is still in play, discard him. All right, so just to be clear, we're in our player phase right now. Then we do the villain phase. So there's player phase, villain phase, and then the round ends. So Nick Fury is going to stay out until after the villain goes. Okay, so we have to figure out what we want to do with Nick Fury. I think we want to draw 3 cards, which is what most people do most of the time. 2, 3. All right. Now the question becomes, which of these awesome cards do I play? So there's Avengers Mansion, which would get me more cards. There's Webbed Up, that would essentially put Rhino in stun mode for 2 rounds. That is pretty amazing, putting Rhino in stun mode for 2 rounds. I think we're going to do the Webbed Up. So we're going to do Emergency, Power of Justice, Avengers Mansion, and Surveillance Team. We're going to use those 4 to pay for the Webbed Up. We're going to put the Webbed Up on Rhino. Okay. Next up, we're going to exhaust Nick Fury to use his Thwart ability to take 2 off the main scheme. We'll exhaust Black Cat to attack for 1, drop Rhino down to 10. We'll exhaust Spider-Man to attack for 2. He's down to 8. So 5, 2, and 1. If I do my basic math, that adds up to 8. I think we're good to go. All right. So now we're done. Now usually Nick Fury's around so that he can absorb a block, but being that Rhino's webbed up, and that's probably not going to happen this next round. All right, so we're going to unexhaust at this point. We're going to grab our counters back. We're going to draw back up to our hand size of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we need to keep in mind we have our enhanced Spidey sense, which says when a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effect. So I could cancel a treachery card. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we're going to go with the villain's turn. We're going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. Rhino would normally attack Spider-Man because he sees him out there, but he's webbed up, and webbed up says Forced interrupt when attached enemy would attack, discard webbed up instead, then stun that enemy. So to be clear, both webbed up and stunned are replacement effects, so Rhino doesn't actually attack. So what instead happens is he's going to get a stun. And why that's important is because when Spider-Man, when the villain initiates an attack, I get to draw a card, but these replacement effects make it so that he doesn't even attack, so I don't get to draw that card, which is kind of sad, but that's the way it is. All right, next up, encounter card. We'll draw a card and we're going to get False Alarm. When revealed, you are confused. If you are already confused, this card gains Surge. Well, I'm not confused yet, so let's get confused. All right, so that's going to be the end of the villain's turn because we did threat, we did his action, and then we did an encounter card. So at the end of the villain phase, the round ends and Nick Fury goes away. All right, now we're over to the hero's turn. Well, let's see here. I think what we'll go ahead and do is I think we're going to start off with a swinging web kick, and we're going to knock Rhino into Rhino 2. We've got Jessica Jones out there, and she's pretty awesome also. Well, what's going to happen is the breaking and taking is going to come into play. And we're not going to be able to quite get it out of there. So let's go ahead and we're going to use one from our web shooter, which is going to make the web shooter go away. We're going to reduce the cost of our next card to play our swinging web kick. So we need one more. I think we're going to take our... Ooh, do we take our interrogation room? Yeah, we'll go ahead and use our interrogation room. And as a resource to play our swinging web kick. All right, we're going to do 8 damage. So we're going to deal 8 to Rhino, which is going to knock him out. All right, so that means Rhino 1 goes away, Rhino 2 comes out. Now the stunned is going to stay on Rhino. And we have when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for breaking and taken, side scheme, and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. All right. So we're going to look for breaking and taken. Where's it at? Breaking and taken. There we go. Breaking and taken is going to come into play. It's going to start with 2 plus 1 for each player. So it's going to start with 3 on it, and it's going to give me another encounter card each turn. All right. So we're going to put that out there. It's going to have 3 on it. And Rhino 2 is going to come into play with 15 hit points. So 10 and a 5. And we're going to change that up pretty quick here. Oop, we use this. This should be exhausted. Okay. All right. Next up, we will go ahead and attack with Black Cat. Or do we thwart with Black Cat? I think we attack with Black Cat, knock him down to 14. Then we'll attack with Spider-Man for another 2. So we're taking 3 off of his 15, and we're going to knock him down to 12. All right, so then we're going to be done at that point in time. We're going to take our cards here. We're going to get rid of these 2 cards. Nope. We're going to get rid of Jessica Jones. We're going to draw 3 cards. Now, the reason I'm getting rid of Jessica Jones is I think I want to play my swinging web kick next turn. I am a little bit concerned about 2 cards coming out, but he's stunned. So hopefully, I'm hoping to find something that's going to help me play my swinging web kick. I was hoping for a double resource. It didn't come out of there, or a way to do, because what I'm going to be able to potentially do next turn is 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. So if I could get 1 more damage, I could take him out, but it looks like I didn't find that 1 more damage in my well of things there. Maybe I should have held on to her, played her, and then the web kick the next turn. We'll see. Okay, so we're in the villain's turn. We're going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. The villain is going to see Spider-Man out here. Normally he would attack, but he's stunned. So our webbed up is finally worn off. Right, now we're going to go to encounter cards, but breaking and taking is going to give us an extra encounter card. So we get 1, 2 encounter cards. All right, encounter card number 1, Stampede. When revealed, Rhino attacks you. If the character is damaged by this attack, that character is stunned. Uh-oh, so he's coming for me. Now he's got an attack of 3, I've got a defensive 3. So there is the possibility that I block and take no damage. I could put Black Cat out in front of him, and she would absorb the damage. Or I can use my enhanced Spidey sense and cancel that altogether. But then I'm not going to be able to play any of my cards next round. Oh, yes I can, because I have my helicarrier. All right, I think we're going to use our heroic intuition to play our Spidey sense. All right, so we use 1 resource. We have a hero interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effect. So we're going to cancel the Stampede. All right, so we're going to get our next card, and it's going to be False Alarm. When revealed, you are confused. If you're already confused, this card gains Surge. All right, so it's going to Surge, which means it's going to turn into another card. We're going to reveal another card, and we get Stampede. Oh, it's coming back. All right, so I have to make the same decision again. I think what we're going to do this time is have Black Cat step in front of this one. I could just take the damage and be stunned. No. I think that's a bad idea. We'll have Black Cat step in front of this one. So he's attacking for 3. Black Cat's going to exhaust to defend against this. So he's going to do 3 in an advance. So he's going to do 3. Oh. All right. Well, Black Cat's out of there. All right. So that's the end of the villain's turn. We're over to the hero turn. All right. So here's what we're looking at. We can exhaust our helicarrier, spend 2 more to do our swinging web kick. So that gets us up to the 3 we need to do our swinging web kick, which is going to do 8 damage to Rhino. And then I can attack for 2 more for a total of 10. So we're going to knock him down to 2. All right, we're going to be done. We're getting kind of risky here. I'm going to draw back up to 5 cards because he's going to get 2 more encounter cards, plus he's going to get an attack. So let's see what we come up with here. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Great card to get as part of this was Backflip. So Backflip will, when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all of the damage. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to draw my card when he attacked the last round too. Ooh. And that would have made a difference because that probably would have been my Backflip. Oh, man. And then I could have taken and gotten out of the way. Oh, man, I messed that one up. Okay, let's go. Villain's turn. We're going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. All right, next up, Rhino is going to look to attack Spider-Man. I'm going to draw my card this time because he's initiating an attack. Oh, and I got another Backflip. All right, so Ryan's going to come for me. I'm going to take it this round. So he's doing 3. He's going to get a boost of, no boost there. So he's coming at me for 3, and I'm going to spend my Backflip, which says, when you would take any amount of damage from the attack, prevent all of that damage. I'm preventing all of that damage, hopping out of the way. All right, so he's going to get 2 cards. All right, and we have encounter card number 1. She has Armored Rhino suit. No! All right, so this suit is going to go on him. And I was looking at the, hey, I could potentially take him out, but this is the card that's going to stop that. Because if you look at that, I have to do 5 damage to that suit first. Then the suit goes away. I had a plan. Rhino ruined my plan. This game is famous for doing that. All right, next encounter card. Oh, Charge. Great. So that's going to get attached to him too, and he's going to get +3 attack and overkill. Oh, wow. Okay, so the game took a fast turn in Rhino's favor. All right. I have to get around that suit. I don't have any good cards out here to do damage. All right. Let's see what we can do here. So, why don't we go ahead and use our helicarrier to play our web shooter. Let's get that into play. All right, I think the other thing that I'm going to do, and this should have 3 counters on it, is I'm going to use my Genius to play 4 Justice. So Genius is going to be 2 mental that I need, and when I do 2 mental, I can remove 4 threat. It's not going to matter. I'm going to take 4 threat off of the Breakin' and Taken, because the 2 cards have been hurting me, and hopefully I don't have to worry about that. All right, I've got a backflip and a first aid. I think I'm going to go ahead, well, I know I'm going to go ahead and exhaust one of my web shooters to play my first aid on myself, which is going to heal me for 2. All right, with that done, I'm going to go ahead and attack. When I attack, I'm going to do 2, but it's going to go on Rhino's suit instead of on Rhino. Grr. All right. That's going to be the end of my turn. I'm going to unexhaust everything. I'm going to draw back up to 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Villain's turn. I'm going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. It's going to go up to 4. Rhino is going to get a big head of steam. He sees Spider-Man out there and he's charging. So he's coming at me for 6 points of damage. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to defend. He's going to get a boost of 1 because there's 1 icon down there. So he's looking to do 7, but I will backflip out of the way. All right, so we prevent all that damage. Ta-da! Oh, and I forgot to draw my card because he was attacking. All right, got to remember that. Okay, next up, we're getting counter card. Oh, and the charge is gone because he charged me. All right, and counter card is, what do we got? Shadows of the Past. When revealed, reveal your set-aside Nemesis minion, put it into play engaged with you. And I can put the side scheme that comes with my Nemesis minion into play. So we're going to get the Vulture is going to come into play, which has Quick Strike. So once he engages me, he's going to hit me for, well, I'm going to decide what I want to do. His side scheme is going to come into play, which says each player places a random card here from their hand face down. All right, so I'm going to have to randomize a card, put it face down underneath there. Oh, don't be Daredevil. Please don't be Daredevil. Let's see which one it is. I'm going to put 1 face down underneath there. I don't know. Whoop. And, well, it wasn't Daredevil. That's good. Okay, these 3 cards, which are the other part of his side scheme deck, get shuffled into here. Oh. You know, this was so close. I was like right there on the precipice of taking him out, and then it got complicated. Okay. Now I'm going to take quick strike damage, and I'm going to go ahead and take that, which means I'm going to take 3. All right, so I'm going to take 3. The other thing I need to remember is that this is going to come into play with 3 threat on it. All right, so the villain's turn is done. We're over to the hero turn. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see, it takes 4 to take him out. After Daredevil thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. When any damage would be dealt to Rhino, it goes there. Okay, so how do we want to do this? So this would cost me 4. which is going to take pretty much everything I've got. I think we hold on to my, so things to look at is we have an acceleration token out here. Let's put this out here to help remind me of that, which means 2 is going to go on the main scheme at the beginning of the turn, which is a little bit painful. All right, I think we do need to get Daredevil into play. So we're going to do actually, let's think about this. So we could potentially take the Vulture out this turn, but the amount of threat that would be generated on the break-in would be really, really bad. So I don't think that we can take, because I could attack to do 2. I could then spend 1 to put the Spider Tracer on him. Then I could flip, get 1 resource, make Daredevil 1 cheaper, and then 3, 4, and I could play Daredevil, attack him, and take him out. Spider Tracer would hit. It would take 3 off of here, but then Rhino is going to scheme potentially. That's going to leave him with his suit. We would be able to take Vulture out, so that's one option. The problem is Rhino would scheme on his turn, which could be problematic because this is going to shoot back up to 2. If he were to draw a 2 boost card, he would scheme out. All right, that doesn't sound like a good option. Our other options are both of us to attack Vulture, or we could both attack the Armored Rhino suit, which is an interesting option. Or I could attack the Rhino suit. Daredevil can attack or thwart and do 1 damage, which would be all that it takes to get rid of the Rhino suit. Let's go that route. All right, so we're going to make 1 cheaper for Daredevil. We're going to spend 1 off of the web shooter. Daredevil's going to cost 2. I'm going to use 2 to bring Daredevil into play. All right, Spider-Man's going to attack Rhino. I'm going to do 2 damage, and that's going to go to the suit. All right, Daredevil is going to thwart. He's going to thwart for 2. And when he does that, he does 1 damage to an enemy, which he will do to Rhino, which is going to be the 5th one that takes away the suit. Okay. So that's going to be the end of our turn. I'm going to draw back up to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, villain's turn. First thing is we're going to put 2 threat on the main scheme. That hurts. All right, next up, Rhino is going to see Spider-Man out there. He's going to come to attack Spider-Man. I get to draw a card. There's a swinging web kick, which is nice, but not all that useful. I think... Well, let's see here. I think I will defend against this attack. So if I defend against this attack, he's attacking for 3. The reason I'm thinking I'm going to defend is because I have damage here in my hand. And I need to do 2 damage to him. I need to make sure that I live through the round. So I think we're going to defend. So we're going to defend for 3. So we have a defense value of 3. So he's attacking for 3. I defend for 3. He's going to get a boost card that does 2 more. So I'm going to take 2 damage. So I'm at 5. All right. Next up, Vulture is going to attack. Daredevil is going to step in front of Vulture's attack. And he's going to take 3 from the attack, which is going to take Daredevil out. All right. Next up, we're going to draw a card. Counter card is, what is it? Shocker. 1 revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. All right, so he's going to come into play. I'm going to take another damage. All right, we got him now. That's the end of the villain's turn. Hopefully I didn't miss anything there. We're over to the hero's turn. Now I am exhausted, but I can go out in style because I can use my web shooter, which makes sense, my helicarrier, and great responsibility to do a swinging web kick to do 8 damage to Rhino and take him out. All right, he's gone. Whew. So that one was looking really good up front. I was feeling great about it. And then it quickly took a turn where I was not sure whether Spider-Man was going to make it or not, but we got the comeback win there. We got things under control and came back. Now, this was a little dicey. There was a lot of bad guys out there, and that suit really messed me up, but we got by it. This could have created a lot of problems, but wasn't too bad. The additional threat generation is very annoying, especially when you're dealing with a 7-threat thing out there. Oh, it took away my energy. But we got the win, and I really like this Spider-Man Rhino matchup. It's one of my favorite in the game here. It just feels right, especially you're swinging web kick, you're kicking Rhino. I mean, it looks beautiful. It just matches up great. So also the whole thing where when you get attacked, you get to draw a card. First off, I tend to forget that, so make sure you remember it. But that goes really good with Rhino because Rhino seems to be constantly attacking and coming after you. So, all right, looks like I got another win. So we'll probably play one more because I'm enjoying the Rhino Spider-Man matchup. It's a lot of fun. I like this one out of the core set. It's pretty straightforward, so it gets a little bit more confusing, like as you move down the path towards Ultron, everything adds a few more layers on top of it. This one's real straightforward, smash mouth, beat 'em up. So it's great way to play for a quick game, great way to introduce people to the game. So, all right, anyway, we got 2 wins against Rhino. Like I said earlier, it's been like 100 games since I played with Spider-Man, and I'm just really enjoying playing Spider-Man again. It's a lot of fun. So one more game, but that's it for now, and thanks for watching.